Okay, so if you're anything like me, you've probably been to your local coffee shop and sat there fantasizing about how they managed to get those espressos looking so good. Well, let's try and see how we can replicate that at home on coffeewithgpa.com. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video today. If you found it useful, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribe to us if you'd like to see more videos and continue your journey with coffeewithgpa.com. I think we all tend to overcomplicate espresso a bit. It seems to be one of those subjects that either frightens us or we're going way overconfident. So let's see how we can make a great tasting, consistent espresso shot when we're at home. We want to start by using filtered water. Now this has a twofold benefit. First being that it will actually protect our machine and stop the limescale buildup that can go into some of those, but also it will remove a lot of the nasty tastes and the excess minerals from tap water. Alternatively, you can also try using bottled water for this. Now it's really important to choose coffee beans that first of all you really like the look of and like the taste of, but also that are very freshly roasted. We're going to be using these ones by Extracts Coffee Roasters based in Bristol because they actually create some incredible espresso based coffees that are profiled to use for espresso. This means that you can expect great colouring and a great thick crema on top of your espresso shot as well. Finally, we want to use a machine that will give us that espresso. We're going to use our Rancilio E-Poker, but you can also use other espresso machines that aren't necessarily that big. But also, if you want something a bit more manual, look at the Flare espresso makers and the Rock espresso makers. So we want to start by weighing out 18 grams of our coffee beans. Now you can use a digital set of scales like the ones we use here. From Amazon, they're only about £7. Now the next stage is what we refer to as dialing in. This is where we make sure that we get the right grind consistency so that we can pull those really good espresso shots. Now you can adjust your grinder setting so that it's on a very fine or espresso setting itself, and we want to grind that into our portafilter, ready to make our first shot. What you should see is that you have a consistency that's almost like a slightly coarser flour. That way you know you're on the right tracks. So from that 18 grams of coffee, we want to expect around a 40 gram output. So if you're looking at brew ratios, you're looking at a 1 to 2 brew ratio. 1 part coffee to 2 parts water. So when you're pulling that espresso shot, you want to look to get that 40 grams output in an extraction time of around 25 to 30 seconds. Now if you're finding that when you're pulling that shot, it's taking a lot less than 25 to 30 seconds, then what you're going to end up with is a very weak, watery cup of coffee. The opposite is true though. If it's taking a lot longer than 30 seconds to give you that final 40 gram output, then what you're going to find is that the coffee is very bitter and will actually taste really syrupy and nasty. No one wants that. If you're finding that either of these is the case, go back to your grinder and either increase the amount of coarseness or decrease the amount of coarseness and make it a lot finer. But make sure each time that you try to get rid of the excess residue that's inside that grinder itself first, otherwise you'll end up with an inconsistent grind. If you're using the Niche Zero grinder like we are here, you'll find that there'll be next to no residue in it anyway, but make sure you just get rid of anything that you do find. So once you've tried dialing in again, we repeat the process and we put another 18 grams of coffee into our portafilter back into our machine. Now hopefully this will give you a bit more of a gauge on how close you are. Again, looking for that 25 to 30 seconds extraction time, use your scales as well to make sure that you've weighed out the 40 grams espresso shot that you get at the very end. It may be very frustrating when you're trying to practice, but the more practice you get, the better that you will get at making those coffees. Try the extract beans out, try making those espresso shots, see how you get on and let us know in the comments below. But we look forward to seeing you again very soon on Coffee with GPA for a few more tutorials and a few more coffee bean reviews as well. Look forward to seeing you again soon.